What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Wilson Financial, where I'm going to be bringing you today most current information when it comes to the coronavirus, the different stimulus packages that are out there. I know a lot of us are really focused on getting that money, but I think it is quite educational for us to know what is going on with politics and the decisions that they are making that are going to help our household, as far as what moves have gone on before this check even came. This check was proposed to be sent to all of us adults in the United States, and what they plan on doing moving forward. So I wanted to talk to you guys initially about the mortgage side, what they're doing with a lot of those interest rates, if it's the perfect time to buy or to refinance. But I think it is more important to focus and stay current. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about the different stimulus packages that have gone through, that have been signed to help the U.S. economy stay afloat as we endure this pandemic that is really sweeping across the entire world. But we're going to talk about the United States today. So the first one that they passed was, when anything this drastic happens, the first thought is, all right, this is the situation, how to resolve it, how do we find a cure? And so that's what the government passed in the phase one of the bill. Was $8.3 billion was designated for the research and development to find a cure for the virus. Immediately after that, it was phase two. And phase two was more so focused on getting people paid for their emergency sick leave time for a lot of the workers, as well as boosting aid for the state unemployment insurance and food assistance. So that was key. That was very, very important, because the type of virus that it is, most of the time you don't get any symptoms till 2 weeks after. So if you believe you've been in contact with anyone who is confirmed or suspected, that you can go ahead and, I'm gonna be out for 2 weeks, and you have that emergency sick leave time to where you're still getting paid, because that is essential. That's truly what makes the world go around. That's what keeps the bills paid. That's what keeps you in your home, in your apartment, in your house. The next thing was boosting the unemployment insurance, because there's an expectation, as the virus continuously spreads, that there will be more and more people being sent home because of it, and or because of fear of contracting the virus, that they're going to call out. So with that being said, there's a lot of people who are furloughed. The current statistic is about 6.6 million people have filed for unemployment benefits. So that was a very important bill to get passed, because that one totaled out to $104 billion for food assistance, because there isn't any income coming in and people still have to be able to eat to survive, obviously. They got to be able to pay their bills to the best of their ability, because income may have dipped because you're not deemed as an essential worker. So you're either at home not making anything, or getting or you're working part-time now, and going part-time, you're not able to pay your bills, which is another key thing that Wilson Financial always wants to stress, and that is always plan for tomorrow, not today. An extremely scary statistic is that there are millions of people that don't even have enough saved for emergency spending of $400 at least. And so a lot of those people are getting hit pretty hard, which is why it was great that the government is doing the best that they can by giving the sick leave time, by increasing the unemployment. So now it's typically like a 13-week, now it's extended to 39 weeks. And they've upped it also as well, as far as the amount that you typically get. They upped it by $600. So where I'm going to drop the link to where it literally tells you everything that is in the next phase I'm going to briefly talk about, and that is the phase 3, and that's the $2 trillion Senate coronavirus bill that was passed by the Senate, the House, and then Donald Trump went on ahead and signed it. And that is the one that includes us getting at least the $1,200 per adult, $500 per child. And it's all based upon the income. But I'm going to give you that link so you can read it, because it talks about unemployment insurance, direct payments to the households, loans, the SBA relief loans, $500 billion for the large corporations, 150 to the states, 221 in tax benefits for these businesses so they can try to keep their employees on board so they can continue to provide for their families. 340 billion supplemental spending going towards the hospitals and for veteran care. Has pretty much everything in here: gig workers, freelancers, airlines, banks, Boeing itself, everyone, energy, everyone is listed in this article. So I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna drop that link in there for you so you guys can read through it. But I wanted to talk specifically about what we're all trying to get, what we're all waiting for anxiously. We have our tax returns coming in, or they already came in. And because of our work situation, we're not making as much. We're nervous. We're at a loss of words. We don't know which direction to go. We don't know what is happening, and we want to make sure we're protected. So a lot of states are sweeping across and ensuring that people are allowed to still be protected from being kicked out of their homes. The only question is for the ones that are privately owned, as far as leasing in the apartments or homes. Those are a little bit different, but the ones that are sanctioned in, the ones that receive federal aid, the owners are only going to receive the aid that the government provides if they ensure that they're not kicking any renters out. So if you're one of those individuals with a big management company, you are protected. Do not have to worry about getting kicked out of your home. So you can rely on that stimulus check to come in. Now, it was first reported that everyone is going to go ahead and get the $1,200. Everyone qualifies, every single American. It's not the case. Through my research back in 2008, there was the same type of stimulus check being passed out, and unfortunately over 3 million people did not receive that check because there was a stipulation for which you are to receive those funds. And so with the first reported information, now it is being reported that in order for you to qualify, you have to file your taxes. Every single adult has to file their taxes. For many Americans that do not have a high enough income to file their taxes, they typically don't. That's for the people who are receiving Social Security, receiving the disability checks. The income is not high enough for them to report, therefore they don't. But now they have to in order to qualify for the $1,200. Could be more than that depending upon the children that you have within your household. So you have to go ahead and file your taxes. If you haven't been doing it in years because the income is too low, you got to go ahead and file those taxes. And there are convenient ways in which you can do it. You can do it through Credit Karma. You can do it through TurboTax. You can do it through H&R Block. A lot of these different major companies that allow you to file your taxes online, you can do so. If you're trying to abide by the stay-at-home order, protect yourself, staying in your clean house, you want to stay safe during these times. You want to do what it is that the government is advising you to do to slow the spread of this virus while they work diligently to find a cure or get it under wraps, so that way we can begin the process of getting back to normalcy in the United States. So you want to make sure that you go ahead and file. Please file. If you have not filed your 2019, you still have until July 15th. That has been extended for you to file your taxes. And if you haven't by then you can go to 2018 is what the government will go off of. And it makes it a whole lot easier if you have your direct deposit information already there. That makes it a whole lot easier, because then they'll just use last year AGI and then from there determine what it is that you qualify for. So people who are filing individually, this is the breakdown on how you get the 1,200. So it's based off of your AGI, which is your adjusted gross income, which is typically on line 7 of your 1040. So if you, this is for individuals who her income is less than 75,000 a year, then you're gonna go ahead and get the 1,200. But if you're above that, it decreases by 5% for every dollar above the 75,000. So that equates to every $1,000 above the 75,000, that's $50 less that you're going to end up receiving. Ultimately, once you make 99,000 or more, you therefore do not qualify. People filing jointly, however, you get a maximum of 2,400 and then 500 per child, per qualifying child under the age of 17. However, that amount that you receive reduces by 5% when you're above the $150,000 per year mark. Now, people who are heads of household, you're eligible up to 1,200, and that amount is increased by 500 per child. If you are head of household making more than 112,000, then it's going to decrease by the 5%. By the 5% margin. So keep all of those in mind. Based on the information that I found, within the next 3 weeks, they're planning on dispersing these checks out to everyone as rapidly and as quickly as they possibly can. But it was reported that no later than December 31st, 2020. So the best bet that you have is to file those taxes, make sure you have your account information implemented so it's direct deposit to your account. So when they start rolling the money out, you have the higher chance of receiving those funds rather than getting on the back end, which it will be at the end of this year. So you want to make sure you do that. Right now, there's a lot of different people though, however, going back to the individuals who earn income is from the Social Security benefits to trying to get the IRS to stand on what the government has decided and not have individuals who typically would never file because their income is too low to file. So they want to go ahead and stop that and just be like, every American needs to go ahead and file, because typically there's more than 15 million individuals who are on Social Security that do not qualify to even file an annual tax return because their income is low. And I feel that this is something that they need to get addressed, because the people do need the funds, they do need those resources to continue on about their daily lives as normal as they possibly can, and not have to fear if the lights get cut off, the internet gets cut off, the phone gets cut off, and they're losing forms of communication with individuals that either help them throughout their daily lives or just stay in contact with their family. I would worry if 15 million people do not, or 6 million or 3 million do not, all that money that was supposed to be distributed, where does it go? Where does it go? What do they then use it for the people who are unable or do not have the ability to file because of age restriction, requires them to stay at home, they're not tech savvy? What then do you do with those funds for those individuals who are never able to claim it? So that is one thing that is on my mind that I have not found the answer to just of yet. But I want to know. I want to know what their plan is, and we just have to wait and see and let that play out until we reach that road. When we get to that bridge, I guess we'll cross it and find out with that information. So I think this is all pretty good. I like it. Another key thing I have brought up before was the unemployment benefit, but I'm going to reiterate it because there are 6.6 million people who are putting their claim in for the the unemployment benefits. So the good thing about it, under the CARES Act, which is under the third stimulus package, is that the jobless workers are going to get an additional $600 a week in the unemployment benefit, and the overall purpose of the goal is to get people as close to 100% of their normal pay as they possibly can, so they can, like I said, continue to just live more of a routine, normal life with the income coming in, that there isn't any hiccups or any bumps in the road. We want to try to keep everything as normal as they possibly can. I think the Trump administration, the Congress, the Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, Independents, everyone that represents us is doing the very best that they can to deliver some economic relief as we go through these times. So I think that is good. I've said it many times before. It is unprecedented times, and it is the first time that I see, witness, and truly actively a part of understanding what is going on. It did happen in 2008, but I didn't know anything about stimulus checks. I learned that through these past weeks. Didn't know that. So now we're going through it again. I'm starting to understand more of what it is that they're doing to try to support the economy and its citizens. So I think we're doing okay. I don't feel the need for us to fret in any way. Just continue to be compassionate towards one another. Compassionately shop. Don't in the days shop. Don't turn your house into, a stockpile, a mini grocery store, because that takes away from other people who are relying on the stimulus check, who live on Social Security. Now they're coming into the stores and they don't have anything. So we really have to keep all of that in mind. Not everyone across the entire world, 6.6 million now, are deemed essential workers that are going to continue to get their normal pay, in a sense, or additional pay depending on where you work. I'm blessed enough to be in the financial industry, so my income hasn't changed, hasn't been affected. At least at this point, it has not. And so I'm still keeping the mindset of tomorrow. Don't know what's going to happen. So I stockpile funds here and there as best as I possibly can. Make sure all the bills and everything are paid. My wife, she's a nurse. So we're fortunate enough to still be continuing to work at this moment, but not everyone's story is that way. Not everyone has income coming in. Not everyone gets paid hazard pay. Not everyone is getting additional funds because of what's going on and how business is being affected. Because business just slows down, that means less people are coming in, which means there's less resources to spread out amongst the executives, amongst the employees, amongst the managers, and everyone like that. So not everyone is in that situation, is blessed in that way. So please be mindful of the things that you're doing. But I do understand $1,200. What is that going to do? That doesn't even cover half of my rent for a lot of people who live in California. That's not even half the rent. So I think this next bill that's coming up, that's in the works, is going to address some things. I believe that they noticed that through phase 1, phase 2, and now phase 3, that it's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it at all. Other nations, other countries are doing things a little bit different. We have Italy, don't pay your mortgage. We have Canada, $8,000 for everybody. So I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that in this fourth coronavirus relief plan, they're going to be addressing these issues. I think they are. But based upon what Donald Trump has said, that they wanted to put some infrastructure plan in place to where that there are funds made available to keep the infrastructure together. You have roads and highways and byways and streets and street lights and all of these things that keep us safe on the road. We don't need additional or more people getting rushed to the hospital for other things outside of the virus, as there already are. We don't want to see any more influx because the hospitals, they don't have enough protective gear. They're trying to get the resources to come, the resources so that they get delivered to different hospitals. We got Mr. Man Robert Kraft used his New England, the New England Patriots plane to fly to China to get about 1 million of the masks and protective equipment back to the U.S. So a lot of people are doing a lot of different things to try to help. As I said before, that next relief package needs to really focus more so on the people, I believe, as there's cases have exceeded 1 million, deaths has exceeded 50,000. I mean, 6.6 million people have filed for the unemployment, and it's expected for that to continue to rise because it hasn't been under control yet. So I think that next package really needs to focus on helping the people better than what stimulus package phase 3 has done already, because the economic toll that it's going to take on all businesses across the U.S. is huge. It's insurmountable. One example I can say is the state of New York. The state of New York is being hit extremely hard, harder than any other coast or state in the U.S. at this point in time. And based upon what the governor Cuomo has been saying, is that they're going to spend close to $20 billion just trying to get the proper protective equipment and being able to help those people get back to a clean bill of health if possible, and keep the flow going in the state of New York, which is huge with the hustle and bustle. The streets is always moving, money never sleeps, Wall Street, the whole 9 yards. And package 3 is only going to deliver to them around 1 to 1.3 billion. So they're in the hole if they're spending 20 billion. So I really think that we gotta get back to the table, and hopefully phase 4 really helps and addresses a lot of the people, and for some of the states that are being hit the hardest, California, New York, we have Washington as well, are the 3 that I know off the top of my head that have a lot of cases elevating more and more as the days go by. So that is the update. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. There wasn't just this. For those who do not know, there wasn't just this was the first, the first reaction as far as funds to this virus. There were 2 preceding, and they're already working on number 4. They're going to continue to monitor that to do the very best that they can to help us all. I will tell you guys briefly, I did want to talk about mortgages, but briefly, I just want to tell you guys, speak with your credit card companies. Speak with your car loan loan holders. Speak with the mortgage lenders. Speak with anyone in which you pay a monthly bill to that ultimately results on your credit score, because there are a lot of them that are deferring payments during this time. It could be month to month. It could be 3 months. It could be half a year. Do understand that there typically is fine print in there where when you come to the end of the loan or at the back side of it, then you're going to have to pay all the interest and final payment at once, or you're just going to end up adding 3 months or 6 months at the end of your expected lease term. So for example, if you had a 5-year lease, now it's five years and 3 months. Just keeping it simple, just like that. So speak with everyone. Make sure if you need that relief, contact them. Most of them have a plan in place. Some are doing month to month. Some are just giving you that whole normal fiscal quarter of 3 months. And take advantage of it because it's there for you. It's not often that this happens. Whether you need it or not, you do not know what tomorrow brings. You do not know how long this will last. You don't know when it will start to affect you in your pocketbook. So make sure all the resources that are out there that you take advantage of them. SBA loans as well, small business, starting small business that's still kind of new. Doesn't have that many employees, but you still want to push forward and press forward and pay your employees. There's SBA relief loans out there for those established businesses that have their tax returns, that have some income that have come in from last year. So you want to make sure you're doing all the research you possibly can, know what is happening, because it's either going to help you, or it's either going to help you. Those are the only options that I see for every individual out here that is going to be affected or is enduring or trying to get through each day the best way that they possibly can. Do not sleep on the help that is being extended to you. Be awake, thrive, go online. Most of it is online. You can call. But I will say with everything that's going on, like I said earlier, people are calling out. People are not showing up. They're in fear, so they're staying home. They're self-quarantined. They're listening to the state orders for the stay at home, whatever it may be. So that now means the people who are continue to be at work, be mindful that they could have been at home, but they're there to serve you. So the wait time is going to be longer than normal. Where I work is about, 2 hours is good. But typically it's longer than that because of everything that's going on. So be mindful of all of the essential workers that are out there continuously there to serve us. We have the health industry workers that are literally on the front lines with the assistance of the government helping pass out supplies the best way they possibly can to all the hospitals. So keep all of those people and their families in your prayers. But that is all that I have for today. That's my update on the corona virus stimulus packages that have gone up. I will probably stay on this topic if more information develops, but I will be giving you that episode specifically about the mortgages, refinancing, what is out there that can help you get through these times. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Please go ahead and leave the comments. Make sure you subscribe. I want to give as much information as I possibly can to you, but it costs. It's at a cost. So I would appreciate it if you guys go ahead and join the Patreon. That's the Dub Club. It's low as $3 a month. You can choose whichever tier that you want to get additional perks and benefits, but I appreciate it. Much love to you guys. Everyone be safe. And if you're at home, enjoy the family time, the camaraderie, strengthen those bonds, because these are priceless moments. I'll leave it at that. These are priceless moments, additional time that we get to share with our families. So we want to make sure we take advantage of them because, life on this earth is finite. Alrighty. See you guys to the next one. Much love, much peace.